There is one rule on every Scrum team that gets misunderstood more than any other. And when teams get it wrong, the whole framework starts to feel like a micromanagement. The role is called the Scrum Master. And I need to tell you what is not before I tell you what it is. The Scrum Master is not your boss. They are not a project manager. They do not assign your work. They do not approve your tasks. They do not decide what gets done first. That is the product owner's job. If the Scrum Master on your team is assigning tasks, tracking your hours, or running meetings like a manager running a status update, that is not Scrum. That is traditional management wearing a Scrum costume. So, what does Scrum Master actually do? One sentence. They protect the process so the team can focus on the work. So think of it this way. The product owner decides what the team works on. The team decides how to get it done. And the Scrum Master makes sure nothing gets in the way. If the product owner sets the direction and the team delivers the work, the Scrum Master protects the environment that makes both possible. A weak Scrum Master runs meetings. A strong Scrum Master protects outcomes. That is the job. 3 things. First one is they keep the meetings working. Sprint planning stay focused on commitments, not wish lists. Daily Scrum meeting stays in 15 minutes, not 45. The sprint retrospective meeting stays honest, not political. Without someone protecting the structure, meetings drift, priorities blur, and teams quietly stop trusting the framework. Number 2, they remove blockers. Most people never see this part. A blocker is anything that stops you from finishing your work. You need approval from a director who has not responded. You are waiting on assets from another department. A system you need access is locked behind an IT request from 3 weeks ago. In a traditional setup, you email someone, wait follow-up, wait again, and eventually work around it or give up. In Scrum, you raise the blocker in your daily Scrum meeting, and the Scrum Master takes it from there. And here is something very important. Raising a blocker is not admitting weakness. It's doing your job correctly. In Scrum, silence is the problem. Transparency is the fix. So the Scrum Master takes that blocker and escalates it. They chase it. They get the obstacle out of your way so you can get back to delivering. Now, the Scrum Master cannot force another department to respond. They cannot override your VP. What they can do is make the problem visible, escalate to the right person, and keep pressure on until it moves. Their authority comes from the framework, not the organizational chart. I once worked with a marketing team when the designer was blocked for 9 days waiting on brand approval. Nobody raised it. The sprint failed. And the next sprint, the Scrum Master called the brand director directly on day 2. Approval came in 22 hours, and it's the same team, the same work. One person did their job differently. And this is not management. This is service. Number 3, they coach the team on the framework itself. When the team starts skipping sprint retrospective, for example, the Scrum Master pushes back. When sprint planning turns into the product owner dictation tasks instead of team choosing work, the Scrum Master corrects the dynamics. They are the person who says, this is not how this works. Not to be difficult, but to protect what makes the framework effective. Because if the framework erodes quietly, the team loses the structure that was protecting them all along. Now let me show you what this looks like in your team. Let's start from the marketing. In marketing, the Scrum Master is the person who keeps the sprint planning meeting from turning into a brainstorm. They make sure the team leaves with clear commitments, not a cloud of ideas. In HR, this is the person who notices the team has been waiting on hiring manager's feedback for 4 days and picks up the phone to get it resolved. In operations, this is the person who says to leadership, we can add that, but we will remove something else. The sprint commitment stays balanced. This is the process protection in action. Different departments, same function, someone who protects the process and removes what is blocking the team. And here is what this means for you as a team member. The Scrum Master is your ally. If they feel like your supervisor, something is wrong with the implementation, not the framework. And here is the sentence you can use starting this week. I have a blocker I need help with. Can we talk after daily Scrum? That one sentence activates the Scrum Master's core function. So use it. Here's your action. Think about your team right now. Who keeps the meeting on track? Who do you go to when something is stuck? That person is playing the Scrum Master role, whether they carry the title or not. Write that name down. Then identify one blocker you are currently working around instead of raising. If you know who your Scrum Master is, bring it to them today. Test the role. Okay? Now you know who sets the priorities and who protects the process. But neither of those roles matters if you do not understand yours. What is actually expected of you as a team member? That is next.